Hey viewers, welcome to VL Astrology. Once again, I'm Vanita Lenka, I'm a Vedic astrologer, and today I'm going to be discussing, along with Ashwin, Sun's ingress or transit into the Taurus sign, which is called the Vrishabha Sankranti also. This is happening from the 16th of May till the 16th of June 2026, and we'll be covering for all 12 signs. Hi, Ashwin, welcome you again. Thanks for making time for such a beautiful and a long session.
Thank you.
Thanks for your insights always. And so we will be telling you a little bit initially, just in the initial part, that what exactly is happening when this transit is happening. The nakshatra transit, the new moon, the full moon, and the Veda concept also I'm going to be touching upon, and Viprit Veda. And then, Ashwin, you take up the sign-wise readings, okay? To start with the Aries. You will do, then I will do. That's how it is going to be. Okay, 1 second. Let me start sharing. I hope everybody can hear us clear. If you can just confirm, everyone, whosoever is online, if anyone can confirm. Okay. So this is what is the, yeah. Okay, somebody is there. Thank you so much. So Sun is going to be transiting Taurus sign from 15th May to 15th of June. And Sun is in the, see here I've mentioned this is May horoscope. So Sun was in Aries. So now Sun is going to be in the Taurus sign. So it is activating in the natural zodiac, the second house, which is the house of wealth, speech, food, family, values, and there is a Saturn's aspect also, not to forget here. So this is a very important solar ingress because it is the sign of, after the Aries sign. Now the baby is born, now the baby wants food after the Aries sign. Now this is also, I want to wish everyone, whosoever is born in Kritika, Rohini, and Mrigashira Nakshatra, a very happy birthday. And in Taurus sign, of course, and if you have Sun. So this is the sign where, family, wealth, food, agriculture, cows, voice, values, savings, beauty, comfort, material stability, these all will be getting activated. And because there is a Saturn also aspecting third aspect, so which represents authority, father, government, confidence, health, bones, eyes, soul, power, these all come under the Saturn's discipline. Okay. And this is good when Saturn is looking here, because people, if have Sun here in the second sign, they become flamboyant. So Saturn will be controlling and taming this energy. And we have Mercury's ingress also, which is happening on the 15th itself till the 28th in the sign of Taurus also. And then Venus is also going to be entering Gemini sign on the 14th of May, and there is a Parivartana Yoga between Mercury and Venus also. Now, Sun, quickly I will take up. Sun will be in Kritika Nakshatra on the 11th to the 25th of May, and 15th till the 25th in the Taurus sign. Okay. So Sun, when is in the Kritika Nakshatra, it is about giving you that kind of razor or flame or purification kind of energy. So it depends how you tackle and handle this energy, because you can be a little sharp in your speech with your words, but it can be that you are going to be cutting out on the decisions which really don't matter to you. Leadership, surgery, purification, cooking, fire rituals, homam, these all are denoted by the Kritika Nakshatra. So this is going to be a nurturing kind of fire. Then Sun will be in Rohini Nakshatra on the 25th of May till the 8th of June. So Rohini Nakshatra is a nourishing nakshatra. It's a creative nakshatra. It's a material nakshatra. That is why it falls in the Taurus sign. So this is good for creation, beauty, fertility, agriculture, luxury, music, art, etc. Sun will be in Mrigashira Nakshatra from till the 8th of June. So from the 8th of June till the 15th of June in Taurus sign. So this is ruled by Mars. And Mars is little, restless kinds, and Mrigshira is any which way is a restless energy. So you might just feel very curious. You might just start traveling, marketing, research work, youthful desires, restlessness and exploration. And also this is good for career, money, property, and relationships and learning also. Now, Sun is going to be conjunct Mercury, which is forming a Buddhaditya yoga for the babies born during this time, especially. So this is like because Mercury is combust also till the 23rd. So this is going to give you intelligence, speech, finance, trading. So for that, it is good. And then we have new moon energy. So new moon is in Kritika Nakshatra on the 16th of May. When Sun ingresses on the 15th, we have immediately after that a new moon in Kritika also. So whenever there is new moon energy, you must understand it is a beginning of a new cycle. So family, wealth, food, speech, value cleansing, all these are the Amavasya or the new moon energies. Okay, because moon is going to be in the fiery Kritika zone. Okay. And this is the day to cut old family patterns, food addictions, family lineage, harsh speech, and an ancestral baggage. Good for ancestral prayers also. And avoid any kind of new financial risks because it is the Taurus sign. So there can be some family fights or harsh speech. But it is good if you are praying together. That is the best part about this energy. Full moon is going to be on the 30th of May. And also we have Adhika Mas from 17th May to the 15th of June. So it is Adhik Jyeshta Purnima, which is the full moon energy. And that is ending on the 31st May. It starts from the 30th morning, ends at, that is why there is no full moon day, because there is Adhik Mas. So what happens? It is extending. It said that there is an extra month. So 30th May, 11:57 a.m. Can you see till the 31st May, 2:14 p.m. This is going to be the full moon energy. So 31st May is the full moon. Adhik Jyeshta Purnima, we call it. So this is like, going to be giving you some insecurity or wealth versus insecurity, in fact, because right opposite is moon in debilitation sign of Scorpio also. So there is a stability versus fear, family assets versus joint finances, comfort versus transformation. Okay. So this is good for inheritance, marital intimacy, hidden fears, to know that what is right for you guys. That is what is the energy. Lastly, Saturn will say discipline your food habits. Discipline in speech, discipline in savings, responsibility. You should take your responsibility instead of escaping the responsibility. Delayed but subtle wealth. Okay. So this is what, this is not a loose, happy-go-lucky wealth transit. I must tell you, wealth must be earned. Speech must be measured. And comfort must be deserved. And family karma must be handled very maturedly. Okay. Now, what is a Vedha concept? I'm just going to be telling you. Whenever Sun is going to be transiting through the 3rd house, 6th house, 10th house, 11th house, these are good positions. But when we say Vedha, Vedha means obstruction. In case there is a planet right opposite this Sun, so this will be causing a Vedha, an obstruction. So for 3rd house, 9th house, if you have any planets, if Sun is transiting the 3rd house for Aries, suppose, there is no planet in the 9th house, isn't it? So there is no Vedha, that means it is a good transit. Now, if there is a for 6th house transit, so when it is the 6th house transit, so it is going to be in the Libra sign. So if there is a planet in the 12th house, so then there is a Vedha. But I think there won't be any planet in the Aries sign also. Now, if, 12th house means Virgo sign, I mean. So if there is a 10th house transit, so if there is now already Rahu is there in the 10th house from Taurus Sun. So if there is a planet that will be causing, the Veda will be caused by, I will be doing in the readings also, I'll be sharing. So the 4th house transit, if there is any planet in the 4th house, that will cause the Veda. And then for 11th house transit, suppose it is for Cancer natives, this is the 11th house transit. So if there is any planet in the 5th house, that is Scorpio sign, then there will be a Veda. Now there is a Viprit Veda also, which cancels the negative positions, which are 9th, 12th, 4th, and 5th houses. Sun's transit is not considered to be good. If there are any planets in 3rd house, 6th house, 10th house, and 11th house for that zodiac sign, then it is a Viprit Veda and negative impacts are nullified. So over to you, Ashwin. Let's start with the readings. I just wanted to give the dates. So you can start with the Aries readings, please. Unmute, please.
Thank you so much. This was a really nice, insightful introduction to the month, going through all these important facets that most people fail to pay attention to. So anyway, Aries. So Sun's entry into Aries is Sun's entry into the 2nd house that directly activates the areas of family and finance mainly. And Taurus is a fixed sign, which means it is also a sign where we kind of bring out a little bit of stability. So from continuous movement, things are now shifting to more logical way of slowing down things and trying to be a little bit more stable. And over a period of time, we have been constantly reacting. Think about Sun's conjunction with Rahu, Sun's conjunction with Mars, Sun's conjunction with Saturn, and Sun's entry into Aries, cardinal sign, constantly moving, feeling to kind of rush through everything and being reactive in every possible way. So now it is like the paradigm is shifting. It's almost like there is a immediate mental shift where our inner self needs that stability, and this is the most important transit at this point for Aries rising natives after a very I won't say chaotic, but a wishy-washy here and there kind of a 2-3 month period that we have all gone through. So this is the period where you need to bring back attention to family, bring back attention to finance. Think about your bills at a very practical way. Think about what you eat. Think about how much you sleep. Think about your workload. Think about your savings, financial strategies. Reformulate your financial strategies. Think about your comfort level, not just inner level, but comfort at a very domestic level at your home. Physical comfort is really important, and also focus on your energy levels. 2nd house is the house of sustenance. Sustenance is what kind of keeps us going, and that is why it is extremely important for us to keep track of how we are eating, how we are sleeping, and how we are living a mindful, healthy life. So initially it is a little frustrating because naturally Aries wants to kind of keep moving here and there. They cannot stay at one place. Stimulation is really important. Momentum is really important. They don't really appreciate stability very immediately. It needs to kind of sink in. There is an inherent tamasic energy with Taurus because of the fixed nature. But think about it. It is not always kind of moving here and there. It's always good to kind of hold on and consolidate. So this is a very important consolidating phase that kind of gives much more stability to our rather chaotic life. And that is what Taurus Sun in Taurus is going to help us with. There is, we cannot expect like too bright or extremely important things happening. A lot of things will kind of depend on the birth chart, dashas and antardashas and all those things. But overall, it is a very healthy period. It is important to kind of analyze our income. It is important to analyze our finances. It is important to analyze how we spend our money. If there is possibility to cut the spendings, it is important to do that. Think about the subscriptions that you have. Most people don't kind of always use all the subscriptions. See if you can cut those subscriptions. If you're buying magazines online, are you reading it? Just think about it, and try to kind of keep it very, very practical. Do not think too far ahead with Sun in Taurus. It is all about practicality and spending time with your family, and connected with your speech. Especially Sun in Taurus in the second house can also kind of indicate a little bit of a dominative, aggressive speech, which could potentially turn harsh. So think about the emotional tone of how you're speaking and what you're speaking, and make sure that you are actually remember that you're actually having a conversation with another human, and that's really important. So do not speak before fully processing or thinking about what you feel and what you speak. So just be very intentional about what you speak. That's really important. There is there you need to have a lot of tolerance towards growing drama at the outside world or external circumstances, where sometimes people will just talk unrealistic things, which will bring in a little bit of emotional drama that turns into gossip. And make sure that you don't go into all those things. And for women audience, comfort food, skincare is good during this time. Think about uh, glowing better, clothes, home items, decor items, gadgets, etc. and etc. Everything that helps us feel emotionally good and also physically much better than what it was before. So I mean, we have spoken a lot about Saturn. I don't want to kind of, the one change is that Saturn is, depending on the Ainamsha that you use, Saturn is either transiting through the fag end of Uttara Bhadrapada, or otherwise it has already entered Revati if you're using Pusha Paksha or Dr. Raman's. So I'm not sure what it is with Lahiri, but yeah, it is in Uttara Bhadrapada. So just 2 more degrees in Uttara Bhadrapada, and then we will think about Saturn's entry into Revati, which will slowly indicate towards prosperity and much more conservative attitude towards scholarly pursuits and journeys and spiritual orientations. And it is in the 12th house for Aries natives. So it is also important for us to kind of focus on ourselves and slightly kind of isolate so that our mind feels better. That is important when Saturn is transiting from Uttara Bhadrapada to Revati. Overall, I think this is a very, very grounding transit. Mars is due to enter Taurus. Wait for that. But anyway, protect your energy and spend much time. Sorry?
Today.
Oh, today. Yeah, that's why, again, I use Raman Sainamsha, so I'm a little circumspect.
It has already as
It has
per
already
Ram.
entered Lahiri. Yeah, okay, so then it's good. Rising sign, the ruler of the rising sign is in the first house. You feel much more confident, but the most important thing is not to remain very aggressive. Do not be over dramatic or overconfident, and just maintain the grounded attitude and use Sun in Taurus for the best possible outcomes. That is always related to stability and fixity to some extent.
Great. Thank you so much, Ashwin. I really like the insights on Saturn's aspect. That was really good. So, okay. And of course, Mars. So,
sure.
yes,
Yeah. I mean,
Sun
we
is,
can just
yeah.
talk. We will lose 7 to 8 hours if we just talk about Saturn and Mars.
I know. And we must focus on Sun. So Sun is,
Yeah.
of course, leaving the exaltation place and is going to be transiting your second house, being the ruler of your fifth house. So it is 10 places away from itself. So it is definitely very positive for Aries people if they want to start something new, or, if you want to plan about your banking, taxes, all that is also really very positive. Just take care of your teeth and eye region, because Sun in the second house is little on the face, or it impacts your accumulated assets. Assets can be your face, or speech, your money, your wealth, your family. They are all your assets, isn't it? So you need to be like as if there is a there is a diya which is burning in the breeze, so you have to really take care of that. And also your relationship, because it's 8th house from the 7th house. So you need to take care of your partner's health also during this time. But yes, it is definitely good for all sorts of, because Venus is also going to be the dispositor lord is going to be in the 3rd house. So it is good for the YouTubers also, and teaching, and also, maybe if you are into communication or something, that kind of a work. And there will be some support from your siblings, also siblings traveling to the overseas places. Some job upliftment for your children also is quite likely. Just take care of your throat region, acidity, face related issues. Just take care, eat right. And it's definitely good for planning your finances, but not for impulsive spendings. Okay, Saturn will not let you any which ways. So just take care. And in relationship, that tone that I am the one who's right, I am the only one who's right, that tone you should mellow down on. Otherwise, it is definitely very positive. And if you can donate some sugar or jaggery on especially full moon and new moons, it is definitely very positive for you guys. And as regards to the Vedha concept, there is no Vedha when Sun is transiting the 2nd house. So this is going to be good for your for your finances, which you can handle yourself well. And of course, this is good for your finance, for consulting, for your income through speech. Okay, coming to the next one, that is Taurus. Ashwin has lots to say about this. I'm sure.
So,
yeah, please.
Anyway, Sun in the 1st house of Taurus. Sun is, one thing I want to kind of talk about. I should have spoken about it before beginning Aries itself. If you go to the Rig Veda, which I'm really fond of at this point in terms of deriving the archetypes and symbolisms of the planets to see where the significations come from. So the Rig Veda actually praises the Sun. Obviously, Rig Veda calls the Sun as Surya. So Surya is praised as the one who helps us see the unseen. Sun is the illuminator. Sun is basically kind of giving us this awareness. Whatever was lost, whatever was hidden in the darkness, Sun basically brings it to light, and it helps us form awareness. Awareness transforms into thought. Thought transforms into knowledge, and knowledge comes out as words. So it's a very beautiful cycle, which Sun actually begins with light. So wherever Sun enters in the zodiac, it is always throwing light on that particular areas, and it is a push or a focal point for us to kind of see and work on those particular areas at that particular point in time. So when Sun is entering the 1st house, it is all about throwing light on ourselves, and it is all about kind of regaining vitality and coming back to the senses, and thinking about what we are doing physically wrong, how we are presenting ourselves, and just practical things. If you're having a marketing related business, or if you're doing a business and if you're kind of doing marketing, how do you position yourself as a personal businessman and not just your business, but you as a solopreneur or a business owner, or whosoever it may be. It is about how you present yourself and how your voice reaches the people. And that is what Sun is going to do with Sun in the 1st house. How the Sun helps you kind of present yourself. So there will be responsibilities, there will be kind of expectations, there will be financial concerns, there will be emotional exhaustion with Sun in the 1st house, because we are constantly dealing with a lot of things. So, but there is also this stronger desire to kind of reconnect with ourselves, and that is going to give control. And Sun is a planet of control, naturally, and in a good way, not in a bad way. Control. So take control of your life and take control of yourself is what I'm trying to say. So outwardly it might look like we are doing well, and there might be a lot of safety and security, and there will be a lot of, seemingly there will be a lot of stability, but it is us who know that everything is kind of perspectives, and not everything is green. But now is this 1 month time for us to kind of think about it and transform and see if there is an opportunity for us to kind of turn everything to green as much as possible by simplifying things, keeping unnecessary complications out of our life. Being emotionally unpredictable is also one of those important things, because being emotionally predictable and being available to people at all the times is naturally going to drain us from an emotional perspective. So that is really important. And like I said, throwing light on ourselves, it is a good phase for us to kind of develop self-awareness. So some people become more conscious about appearance, clothing, or grooming, whatever it is, be it health, wealth, uh, weight naturally, or in general vitality or energy levels. So all these things will kind of take a conscious place in our life. And for some people it will just be kind of, okay, let's slow down and try to gain some more energy and take better care of ourselves. So all these things play a different role for different people, and it might not be everything at once for all those people. So we all have different ways of manifesting a particular energy that is being shown by a planet. So, and it is also important to kind of create a routine. So sun in the first house, it's good, like create routines for yourself. So psychologically, those routines that we have could bring this kind of return of confidence because of naturally scattered nature again, as a result of sun's conjunction with Rahu, Saturn. Sun was exalted in Aries, but still it was 12th house. So there was a lot of isolation, probably separation, and we felt unseen in many ways, although we kind of knew that we deserved to be seen. So uh, unsettlement has always been there over the past 2-3 months, and now it is things are changing, but do not over expect. Try to be willing to be open, and 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 also try to tolerate any form of interference, because sun in Taurus is squared by the nodes on both the sides. Saturn is there in the 11th house. There is going to be some kind of, Saturn is aspecting the sun, make no mistake. So there is going to be some kind of limitations that we have to deal with, challenges that we have to deal with, hindrances that we have to deal with, more importantly interferences from other people that we need to deal with. And try to be calm with all those interferences, and do not show that you have this control externally, but have the control internally. People will keep saying whatever they want to say, but you show your authority in terms of what you want to do. Take advice from people, hear what people have to say, but doesn't mean that you have to entertain each and every conversation and every expectation that other people have. Own your time is what I'm trying to say. And Saturn's sextile aspect on the sun indicates that own yourself and deal with the limitations, and more importantly, try to be very cautious in terms of how you react and respond to people, because Saturn's third aspect on the sun is almost like casting a shadow on how we present ourselves. So we might kind of tend to over present ourselves through overconfidence, because sun in the first house, glamorous, exuberant nature of presenting ourselves, and Saturn's aspect is going to tone down that exuberance, which actually is good. So deal with those limitations, have ambitions, but be very mindful and be very conservative about ambitions. Enjoy the visibility that you get, but always do not hope for more. And this is a very, very realistically good transit for Saturn natives. Taurus natives, with Saturn and Mars in the 11th house. Rahu in the 10th house is still going to kind of help us push towards what we want in the career. And Jupiter is slowly leaving Gemini. Get ready for Jupiter's entry into the third house. So it's a slightly transitionary period in terms of how we are dealing with Jupiter, but overall, I think this is a much needed transit for Taurus rising natives.
Great. Very well said, actually, initially, when you spoke about the Rig Veda and all. That was a real gem. So you see, sun in the first house, definitely it enhances your charisma. It is like, you will be in that leadership zone now. Your partner can also get little jittery or dominant, or stubbornness or something can come up, maybe because of your own persona. Sometimes it gives that kind of friction, because and ego comes in between with everyone. It happens in every marriage, in every relationship, this happens. So don't take it too seriously, because it is actually controlled and tamed by this Saturn energy, which is aspecting the sun here. So it actually simplifies life. Saturn says simplify life, take responsibility, take charge. So now you might just become more serious about your tasks and your, your home environment, because Sun rules your fourth house. So in relationship, with children, you will now take the responsibility, and you will definitely sail through this very well as well. And just take care of your eyes, BP issues if you're already going through all of that. And also put that effort now, channelize the energies, because the Lagnish is also going to be in your second house. So you're getting this chance to make money out of money, to grow financially also. So now you will definitely be more about your personal branding, as Ashwin rightly said, about your voice, about your beauty, about your food, about your teaching, counseling, consulting sessions. You are going to be the in charge of the whole situation. So just sail through a rough patch, which is in relationships because of this. But I'm sure you will sail through this with flying colors, because Venus is also going to be in your second house. And new moon happens in your first house also on the 16th itself. So this is like a very beautiful time for an identity reset, because whenever there is a new moon, the new cycle begins. So this is going to be giving you the way to look at things in a very positive manner: public dealings, spouse emotions, marriage, clients, relationships. Now you will definitely be able to handle things really well. If you are self-employed, definitely it is going to be very positive for you. If you are working up for someone, so this will give you visibility or promotion also. Okay, there is no Vedha or Viparit Vedha which is forming with Sun in the first house, so you're good to go. You can simply just do Surya Argya or water to the sun god, or maybe just take sun bath in the morning, or see the sun sighting, like get up in the morning and see the sun, rising sun. You will feel the energy so well during this time, I'm sure. And of course, this is the rising energy. So if you're born with the sun also here, so definitely it is a very positive time for you. And I wish you all a very happy birthday. Please donate some food grains to the needy during this time. And also say thank you and pray to the family lineage, to the ancestors, when Sun is in the first house and Ketu is in Sun sign. And Saturn from the 11th house is looking at your first house also. Okay. So you can really quit your karma during this time. See, I talk about karma because karma does exist. That is why there is astrology. Okay. Coming to the next one, that is Gemini. Over to you, Ashwin.
Yeah. Okay, Gemini. So into the 12th house. So Sun in the 12th house is, so again, third ruler in the 12th house, and third house is all about efforts, courage, and to some extent communication, and how we kind of try to kind of channelize our energy towards the daily activities of our life. And Sun into the 12th house, it is a little bit of a shadow area, and we will feel isolated, we will feel separated, and it is always better to kind of separate ourselves and change that isolation into solitude, like I always say. So this can feel a little unusual because life has probably been very crowded mentally for Gemini rising natives, those who cannot really stop talking after all. And now Sun's entry into the third house is a little bit of a shift in the natural way of how a Gemini looks at life. So conversations, plans, travels, deadlines, social interactions, learning, or even thinking or overthinking and possibilities, and constantly being stimulated. All these things have probably kept the mind very, very consciously uh, occupied, very, very hyper vigilant way of dealing with life. But now, although we as Gemini natives will continue to kind of remain busy as they are, but there will be this mental need to kind of grow internally rather than externally. So there is this tendency to kind of withdraw from this external noise and chaos that is surrounding us. So it's a very, very quiet transit that is going to eliminate some of the psychological aspects of our life. You may find yourself becoming very, very observing and not very, very reactive as Gemini natives usually are. And also kind of instead of responding to everything around or reacting to everything around, Gemini natives may or even should choose being non-responsive or non-reactive, because that is going to kind of help in isolation and transforming that isolation into solitude. You will most certainly want distance from people, and especially kind of from emotionally demanding situations. You will stay away and you should stay away. That is the right way to kind of think about it. Again, tiredness, fatigue, and all these things will come, and sleep quality should improve, and all these things will kind of play an important role, because, like I said, throwing light on aspects of that particular house, 12th house, sleep and draining. So we are not taking care of ourselves, and now it is the time for us to kind of take care of ourselves. The psychological self enter into this dwelling place and take care of the psychological self, and fill this lack of personal space by giving the space for yourself. So again, you may still want to continue working. There is always daily life. You need to earn, you need to work, you need to have meetings, you need to kind of teach if you're a teacher like me, or if you want to study, you keep studying as students. If you want to write, you are a writer, you write. If you are a traveler, you want to keep traveling. Or if you want to socialize, you want to socialize. But still, always draw a line, is what Sun in the 12th house says. Draw a line. And also, 12th house is also about unprocessed emotional situations in our life. So Sun is throwing light. So if you're kind of dealing with some unprocessed emotional situations, try to deal with those. And they're not necessarily negative, but they are kind of unburdening ourselves. If the unprocessed emotions and challenges and psychological burdens go away from us, it creates some new space for us to kind of bring something new and help in revitalizing when Sun enters the first house. So there is no need to be constantly productive. Sometimes being unproductive and self-care also becomes an important strategy to kind of engage in long-term sustainability process as far as the self is concerned. So overall, I think for Gemini natives, it is a decent period. I won't say it is a great period, but it is a very decent period, especially with Mercury in the 11th house. And after some time, Mercury will also enter the 12th house. So there is a lot of, 12th house energy that is there. And it is not a good time to spend money naturally when 12th house is active. Think about cutting the expenses. There will be unnecessary spendings, or do not kind of engage in social media advertisements, or stop scrolling through Amazon or Flipkarts or other, especially third house, prone to buy gadgets or daily little aspects that kind of probably will end up being a waste if you think about it. So just be careful of all these practical aspects and enjoy the Sun in 12th house spirit.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is an isolation time and it's self-introspection time. Something will definitely happen, when you are isolated. It is like an end of the cycle. Sun is in the last house for you. That means the whole zodiac, 1 year, Sun has traveled and has come to the last one now. So you have learned your lessons. You have learned what was not right, what you have not done, what you missed, what you should do, what you could have done. So all that, now you're going to be in that self introspective mode when Sun is in the 12th house in the Taurus sign. Maybe you'll be reviewing what relationships mean to you, what kind of friends are supposed to be here, and what is it that you should be doing about your finances, how you can grow financially, because it's the Taurus sign of food, family, finance, speech. So that has gone to the 12th house. So you will get that clarity about your family, also about your revenues, about your income, etc. also. And definitely this is in your 12th house. So maybe you will be traveling, you'll be connecting with the foreign clients, behind the scenes working, and also consulting work, and also spiritual writing. Maybe you will be getting into that healing mode. You might just travel to a retreat. It's definitely very positive for you if you go for for your own treatment, your healing treatment also. So for sure, it is going to help you. And Saturn is also saying, just stay calm, and whatever storm that you're going through inside shall also pass. And this is also good for any kind of foreign linked work, maybe your obligations that you have to finish at the place of work, because Saturn is there in your 10th house and looking at this Surya, your third house ruler. So this is definitely good for documentation regards to your work, and acknowledge whatever you could not. So it is a very positive time period for you guys. Just take care of your sleep, and anything to do with hospitals, in case you're already connected or somebody is there. So just take care when Sun is in the 12th house. And also there is a Vedha, when Sun is here, it's not a good position. So there has to be a Viprit Vedha. That means if Sun is at a good place, and if there is another planet transiting some other place, so it is not that good. But when Sun is here, that means it's not a very positive position. But if there is a planet right opposite this, that is in the 6th house, so it will definitely balance out. So on the 30th, 31st, you will feel good because there is a full moon, and moon is going to be right opposite the sun. So whenever, of course, moon does not help so much because sun takes the lead, but still it is definitely very positive for you. You should do some remedies like, donating sugar, donating jaggery, food grains to the needy. Charity, of course, you should not get overboard. You tend to have unwanted expenditures on charity, or maybe something that you did not plan, somebody's in the hospital, you have to just spend on that also. It is the 12th house energy going to play out. It's said that when sun is in the 12th house, your partner becomes very aggressive as per the classic text. So and some unethical behavior you might just get involved with. So, and with your friends and relatives, you have to be really careful, because this brings in enmity or hidden kind of, maybe, your own people become your enemies. It's like that energy with the 12th house. And tendency to donate too much is also quite likely during this time. So you have to be careful that you save good chunk of money during this time, and take care of your feet, your eyes, your anxiety, and hospital expenses. And also some kind of foreign income is also quite likely if you're traveling. And a good time for anything to do with meditation, retreat, some kind of secret behavior you should avoid. And also good for the 16th, when we have the new moon in your 12th house also. It's the 16th when there is a Kritika new moon, when moon also joins here. So this is good for donations, but in limit, of course, and good for anything to do with meditation and working on a self-introspection period. Then full moon is in your 6th house, when moon will be in your 6th house on the 30th and the 31st, in fact, but moon will be in the 6th house on the 30th and the 31st. So donate something regards to your, if you are having any health issues, suppose you have eyesight problem, so you donate in the hospital some eye medicines, or get the surgery done for the old, for the cataract. That's one very good remedy for sun and moon. And if you can't do anything of that sort, at least, take the blessings of your father or guru during this time period, especially on the new moons and the full moon times. You should connect with your lineage. You should do something for your, say thank you to your ancestors. That is something you should donate to the hospitals, feed the animals, chant Aditya Hriday Stotram or Surya Gayatri for peace. If you can't do these, then go for donations and you're good to go. Coming to the next one, that is Cancer. Okay, Ashwin.
Right. Cancer. So Sun in the 11th house. So second ruler in the 11th house is really cool in many ways. But again, cardinal sign. So there is also a little bit of obstruction with the 11th house. So we need to be mindful of the opportunities, but also the little bit of roadblocks that we may find as part of the 11th house. So anyway, it's attention towards friendships, 11th house, social circles, possibly even collaborations to some extent. But again, it is also the house of desires and accomplishment of desires in general. So for Cancer natives, this is a period where there is a little bit of reassessing the people and the priorities, and it's not the time to be very dramatic or decisive in terms of who you're dealing with in the social circles. In terms of what you're dealing with in career or at workplace, it is entirely different because Mars has just entered your 10th house. So there is going to be a lot of power related dynamics, and also what is happening in your workplace. So you need to be very careful that you're not very aggressive at workplace. You don't need to be very extra decisive. You can just embrace the intuition that you have at any given point in time. Trust your energy, trust your instincts, but never overreach is what I would say. Because with Cancer rising natives, there is always the tendency to kind of overpromise and finally end up falling in the trap of not being able to do, and ultimately under delivering the promise. It's the risk of Cancer rising natives, and if you do it very well, there is a lot of opportunity to kind of use the Sun's transit in the 11th house to the best of our advantage, so that we get gains. And it is not always material, it is also sometimes moral gains. So sometimes we feel kind of caught in between responsibilities or private worries, career pressure naturally, especially with Mars entering the 10th house. And also Mercury is currently transiting the uh, 10th house as 12th ruler. So there is also a little bit of uncertainty and exhaustion at an inner level. But I think Sun's presence in the 11th house is going to help us realize that we have this genuine support, because 11th house is the support system, and people who help us, especially people at higher levels. And we will also be able to view which person is trying to consume our energy, and which person is trying to be very helpful for us. So it is good to be not judgmental, but kind of observant about your friendships, and have this grounded attitude, and do not engage in performative stuff on social media or any social platforms. So it's a period where you might have a desire to kind of engage on social media, have meaningful presence in the community, and have this relationship with the community, and all these things will be there. But again, just be mindful, because you're going to share your values, and you're going to kind of ensure that all your participation in the community and social circles, be with your friends or organizations or whatever it is, any undertaking that you accept that is not your regular work, needs a lot of care, and you need to be very careful about who you interact with, and do not overpromise, like I said earlier. So career direction, financial stability, and long-term security is going to play a role. Second ruler in the 11th house, it seems like there is a little bit of a hiccup in terms of financial security and overall long-term security from a financial perspective. But I think after a few days of Sun in Taurus, there will be a lot of clarity in terms of how we need to reformulate our gains, reformulate how we are thinking. Eighth ruler Saturn is aspecting Sun, the second ruler. So, which means that we are thinking about long-term stability. Sun in Taurus, fixity, stability. Saturn, long term. So Saturn aspect in the Sun is about thinking about long term stability, formulating long term financial strategies, and avenues that is going to help us gain 11th house gains. So gains in a long term perspective. So do not be impulsive is another suggestion or advice that I would give, because with Sun in the 11th house, sometimes there is this tendency of impulsive nature, of especially participating in social circles, and kind of trying to be preoccupied at a very premature stage. So social obligations, events, and everything should be very carefully analyzed. Even helping others financially. Do not be emotional and do not make a decision very soon. Just remember that Rahu is still in the 8th house. Money given out always will kind of struggle in terms of coming back, and you also don't know how the money is being spent or for what purposes it is being used to Rahu Ketu angular or squaring the sun. So be very careful about how you kind of spend your money and how you donate your money. So there is a lot of thought process you need to kind of put in that, especially if you're a person who is very charitable in nature. So overall, get ready for Jupiter's transit into the first house. Brihaspati, again going back to Rig Veda, Brihaspati is the patron of wisdom and sacred speech, and entering the first house, wisdom is going to be your only nourishment, and sun's entry into the 11th house is actually a precursor to what might happen for an entire year with Jupiter in the first house. So enjoy the vessel or containment or the precursor with Sun in the 11th house is what I would say for Cancer rising.
Absolutely good that you forewarned Cancer natives, because they tend to commit and overcommit, and maybe at times they have to push themselves because of the pressure. So one must be very careful about, but in the classic text it's mentioned that this is like you win over your enemies, and there are multiple sources of income when Sun transits the 11th house, and it gives you peace. If you're having long worrying problems, you definitely come out of those. And also it is a very positive time period in case you have any kind of because Saturn is looking from the 9th house, so it's definitely good for travels, also long distance journeys it gives, and any kind of gains through government or VIPs or anything to do with promotion status. So this is a very positive time period. It is happy and auspicious, and some occasions in the family also take place. This is as per the classic books. Now, when we talk about Sun here, it also gives you fulfillment of desires, because it is going to be illuminating. First of all, you should know what is your desire. So you are so confused. Oh, if somebody asks you what you want, you will be so confused. What do I want first? Oh, I want a house. No, no, no. I want my kids. No, no, no. I want this. So that is something this Sun gives you, the clarity. What is your priority? So Sun will give you a very good vision as to where you are heading to. What do you really want? So this is what will lead to recognition. This will lead to good relationship with others, and also social circle improves. You will have influential people you'll be connecting to. Maybe you have influential friends from the past. They come and start connecting with you. Also, there is a Saturn aspect, so good for long term. In case you have been having, your father has been having some issues, long term health issues. So this might just be giving you that clarity. What exactly is the issue? What is the problem? Okay, because it is the house of Father, Guru, Dharma, where this higher learning, where the Saturn is seated. So it is going to be giving you long-term karmic merit in those areas. Now, 11th house, if there is good. So if there is any planet which is right opposite the Sun, that is in the 5th house, then there is a Veda or obstruction. When is the Veda? When Moon transits the Scorpio sign on the 30th and the 31st. So this will create some obstruction related to your children, education, speculation, romance, or emotional decision making. So you need to be really careful about this. And you have to take care of your liver and emotional eating also with this transit. Good for gains, salary, business income, audience growth. For that, it is good. Networks will help. Collaborations, as Ashwin rightly pointed out. Seniors will support you. Friends and network might change. Okay, it might just become more powerful, much more better. And you must set financial and audience goals on the 16th of May when there is a new moon in the 11th house, because the cycle is going to begin again. So very positive. So donate food to the students or children. Offer water to the sun for gains with humility. For sure, it is a good transit, and any kind of homam, Surya, Gayatri, if you perform. 11th house is the house which actually helps you satiate your desires also. Saturn is looking here. That is why the 11th house is, the 11th sign is given to Saturn, so that you just enjoy the whole thing in the world, like whatever your desires are, material desires, and then move on for the path ahead. Okay. So this is what Cancer natives, I think you can enjoy this transit because it's a wealth giving place also. It will give you growth. Okay. So for Leo.
Wealth giving growth for Cancer. That's nice. So, Sun in the 10th house for Leo natives, it's so straight away 10th house is public stature and positioning or career or public responsibility. Sorry, public responsibility, etc. So again, reputation, direction of our life, and reputation or image, whatever it is, everything that is related to our external positioning in the visible world is really kind of coming to the forefront. So this can feel like a month where visibility naturally kind of increases, but there is also a lot of awareness of the pressure or expectations that the society has from us. So it's very important for us to kind of deal with all those things as well. With responsibility comes pressure, and with visibility comes expectation, and we need to be very careful in dealing with all these things, because falling short of expectation is also a little bit of a risky thing at this point. So at work, or be it family circles or social interactions online, so there can be a sense that your actions are suddenly being viewed as very important. It suddenly carries a lot of weight. You may receive recognition, additional responsibilities, leadership roles. The ruler of the rising sign in the 10th house, powerful Kendra. It's a very, very powerful transit for Leo rising natives, despite the fact that there is Ketu in the first house and Rahu in the 7th house. And because Ketu is there in the first house, or has been there in the first house for a very long time, this Sun's transit in the 10th house is going to feel like something is suddenly shifting. The exhaustion that we have been feeling is going to kind of change, especially in terms of how we perceive our own public image, or our own perception of how we present ourselves on a public platform is all going to be really changing. It is going to give a newfound hope and confidence. But the question is if these are sustainable. And there will be a question mark whether if these are sustainable, and we need to put in a lot of hard work to ensure that these are sustainable. And this pretty much comes from the sun square the nodes of the moon, and Saturn's aspect is going to also give us opportunity to kind of make all these things sustainable. Yoga Karaka Mars has entered the 9th house, which means there is scope for us to also focus on the ethical and dharmic path of how we want to travel during this month. And that is going to put a lot more emphasis on Sun's positioning in the 10th house in maintaining our public image and social responsibility and overall social positioning. So again, do not over expect or do not over project yourself, and do not think that you have influence that you do not have, or do not try to kind of gain influence in an undue manner, because it's going to kind of change and it might derail your positioning. Because again, I'm telling you, with Sun in the angles from the nodes, what we receive might also be there is a chance for detachment or risk of kind of being snatched away from us. So the relationships that we have with people needs to be carefully maintained. And also it becomes very important. Sun, bosses, sometimes even clients who are at a very high level. Teachers also will make sense, because Mars, the ninth ruler, entering the 9th house, Mercury is already in the 9th house. So teachers, spiritual figures, etc. and etc. Elder family members, father will play a very, very, very significant role during this period. If you have any problem, go to elderly figures. If you have the privilege, approach your father first, or any other elder in your family, or just go to someone else who is very, very wise and who can potentially guide you towards the right direction. Think about reliability of the person. On the other hand, also think about how reliable you are as a public figure during this person. And public figure, it doesn't mean that you have to be an actor or a celebrity. The way you are kind of dealing with public and how you are positioning yourself on the external platform makes all of us a public figure, because we all have public interaction, we all have social activity, we all have collaborations, we all have visibility. And make sure that visibility is used for the right things and we nourish that visibility. Taurus is all about not the Cancerian nourishment, but it is also kind of trying to stabilize the position. And here the nourishment is all about feeding the right intention in terms of what we are doing as a public figure, especially with Leo natives. So overall, this is a very visible period, but there is also a little bit of vulnerability, and I'm sure Leo rising natives will deal with those vulnerabilities, having dealt with a lot of challenges with Ketu in the first house. This is a very, very welcome transit with Sun in the 10th house of Leo. Sorry, Taurus.
Okay, great. Great analysis for Sun in the 10th house. Ashwin said most of the things. It definitely is a transformative change which is coming in, because I use this transformative word too much. So they say, how much transformation Leos will go through? Yes, because Saturn is
Saturn is
already
also
in
in the 8th house. Yeah.
8th house. So Saturn is saying, and looking at your ascendant Lord. So definitely it is saying, slow down, take it easy. And when I will give you long-term stability. Remember that. So it's just that kind of a phase which will definitely clear a lot of responsibilities of yours at the workplace, or in general in your life, and any kind of joint finances, hidden politics at the place of work. You will definitely get that coming. You will see that everything is coming into the limelight, whatever was hidden, because Saturn shows you the right things. It supports you, and it's the 7th lord after all, looking at the ascendant. So it is what kind of people will pull you down, or what kind of people will push you upwards. This is that kind of a transit. Who remains, who stays, who should stay? This is what Saturn will tell you, because ascendant lord is Surya in the 10th house. So it is good what kind of network, what kind of career gains will take the graph upwards. And Saturn is supportive of this. Whenever there are changes, remember the changes are for better, for sure. Because whatever we feel is going wrong, maybe that the divine plan has something better in store. So take it in a very positive stride, I would say. And in case you have anything to do with your property matters or anything, 30th, 31st, you should avoid in any which ways. This is burnt, it's like Agni Nakshatram also the sun is in. So you have to be little careful about your, food habits, have lighter foods. And if you can donate something, which is soothing for others, soothing clothes, soothing foods, water charity is a must. And also, there is an Adhik Masa, and then we have 16th Kritika, new moon also. There's a lot of heat energy also, fixed heat energy with sun in the Kendra, and ascendant lord is in the Kendra, and there's a Vedha by moon on the 30th, 31st, so which is activating your 4th house. So around that time, career progress may be obstructed by home matters or mother, or maybe, something to do with your property, or emotional issues may come up. So you need to be really careful about your relationships during this time. Don't get into any kind of ego clashes or ego hassles or anything to do with legal matters. Also, don't ignore family while focusing on your career during this time. Okay. And this is one of the best transitions, which is as per the um, as per the uh, classic text. Also, it is going to give you status, it is going to be giving you uh, victory over the enemies also. So definitely this is going to be a very powerful transit for you guys. And if you want to buy some vehicles or you want to get more spiritual, so this is definitely very positive time. You might just purchase new dress, new clothes, new jewelry. So this is that way a very favorable time. And also new moon is in the 10th house of career, so career reset happens, and authority decisions you'll be making as well. And when there is a full moon in your 4th house on the 30th and the 31st, though it is on the 30th 31st, sorry, so still 30th 31st, you be careful about your home matters. If there is anything which requires attention, please pay attention to that, prioritize that in case there is something. So offer water to the sun god in the morning when you get up, respect your father, your bosses, donate food to the workers on Saturdays also. And definitely 10th house sun is going to be, it is like, it is a very powerful sun's placement here, because 10th house is the peak of, it is the peak of, it's a noon time. So sun is the brightest here. That is why in the 10th house, when sun is and moon in the 4th house, these are two opposite directions, two opposite energies. So moon does well here because right opposite sun, because it is going to give you that emotional stability also. You will get a lot of clarity in relationship, in finances, in your investments, in children's life, what you should be doing, what should you be avoiding. So all that is a part and parcel. Donate food items in the hospital. I'm sure you are going to feel better. Okay. Coming to the next one, that is Virgo.
Virgo. Sun in the 9th house. So straight away takes us to philosophy, religion, spirituality, father, fortune, luck, etc. and etc. So this is the time to kind of connect with the fathers, ancestral lineage, and consider kind of going to some spiritual locations that are specific for ancestry. It's good to kind of offer anything, whatever is within your power. So that's just one thing. But on the other hand, it's also the 12th ruler in the 9th house, which means there is also uncertainty in the direction that you are taking. But because sun is also this significant of revelation and illumination, over a period of time, as sun's transit unfolds in Taurus, there is also going to be kind of unfolding of certainty. Uncertainty slowly kind of fades away and things get better. So after a period where like everyone, like life may have felt very, very repetitive and also kind of demanding mentally, and especially with sun in the 7th house with Saturn and 8th house, naturally there is this blockage of perspectives, emotionally heavy due to responsibilities or due to fatigue or due to overload of working or whatever it is. But sun in the 9th house is kind of trying to kind of realize that we need to move away from this routine, and it is not to be framed as an escape from our path, because 9th house is the path of its dharma, but it is actually trying to kind of connect with ourselves and trying to connect with our own path, which is a rejuvenation or refreshment in many ways. And emotionally, it is going to be a very good gainful period, because we kind of believe in this some higher invisible force with sun in the 9th house. So over a period of time, naturally, we probably had work pressure, constantly kind of solving some problems, be it for yourself or be it for others, carrying responsibilities, be yourself or be it for others, dealing with deadlines, or even possibly health challenges for some people, and just all the sorts of exhaustion that you have gone through with Sun in the 7th house and Sun in the 8th house. Now it is about kind of course correcting our lifestyle and trying to do what actually kind of gives us peace, taking the path that is actually good for us psychologically. Again, having some reflections around our beliefs, going to texts like Gita, even this pocket Gita, or reading just one line every day and thinking about it and contemplating it, because even one sloka in Gita is extremely profound and deep. And it doesn't mean you have to read only Gita, you can read any kind of text, because text is already really important. And that is the 9th house, reading higher texts, philosophical texts. So studying is really important with Sun in the 9th house. Try to focus time on reading, not social media. I know social media is the scrolling is this dopamine addiction. Sorry. But Sun in the 9th house is an opportunity for us to kind of feel fatigued and almost kind of guilt tripping for wasting time on social media like Facebook and Instagram. So instead, download a Kindle application and see what happens. Just read like one paragraph every day or something. Things will shift. Emotional honesty will improve. Intellectuality at an emotional level. You don't need to show off that you have this 9th house philosophical intellectuality. You just need to kind of think for yourself. You just need to realize for yourself, and not kind of pretending that we are doing the right things, but actually do the right thing. And that is what Sun is going to do. So naturally there will be a little bit of an emotional withdrawal. In a way it's actually good, because this withdrawal is not about conflict. 12th ruler in the 9th house, going towards the right path, withdrawing from whatever is not necessary is the answer here. So Jupiter is leaving your 10th house, getting ready to leave your 10th house, and it is going to enter the 11th house. So, which is a reasonably good transit. So, and utilizing this Sun's period in the 9th house is actually a good way to kind of embrace Jupiter's entry into Cancer. And you also have Sun's entry into 10th house, which naturally puts you into the public space, reputation, and everything. And before you get there, it is important for you to kind of focus inward and try to get acquainted with the texts and some form of spirituality, whatever is applicable for you or whatever is kind of relatable for you. Do that, and deal with immediacy of lives, and do not think too far ahead. Just stay in the moment and enjoy your life at this particular point of time.
Oh, awesome. Ashwin went emotional or what? For Virgos,
I don't know. I'm just kind of,
yeah, you were in a flow. I didn't want to interrupt you at all. I wanted you to go on and on, actually, but good. Yes, it is the 9th house energy. Maybe because of that, maybe the luck was activated. But 9th
it was
house is
flowing,
actually,
so I just let it flow.
yeah, it was really great. Thanks so much for your insights. You see, actually, 9th house Sun is like a Karko Bhavna. It is not considered to be a very positive placement as per the classic text. Okay, it said that when there is, I'll just read it out from the classic text that I have. Father gets afflicted with sickness and goes through a bad time. Sorry about this, but it can also give some unexpected luck factor also getting activated. Because this is 12th from the 10th, loss of honor can happen. So all these like humiliation or luster of body is lost and all that. Okay. But this is as per the classic text. And when a planet which is in a bad position is aspected by a bad planet, or rather a malefic, so it is minus minus plus. So please, when we are saying anything negative, there are multiple factors which cancel the yoga. If we are saying anything positive, there are multiple factors which can balance out or can reduce the positive energies also. So here, when it is in today's world, we need this house to be active. With Sun coming out of the 8th house and entering the 9th house is activating your higher learning. So earlier times it was Gurukul. Now, if it is activating the higher learning, that means it is activating the foreign land travels also. And it is a positive thing. Okay. So why I take the concept from or the context of the classic text, because when I'm saying something which is not that favorable, it is because in the classic text we have to stick to that. So when Sun transits only 3, 6, 10, 11 houses, it's a good position. But when it is in the 9th house, you need to study something. As Ashwin rightly mentioned, something like Bhagavad Gita or any kind of your holy book, you can just read and you can just imbibe those energies also. Take the help and advice of Father, blessings, as Ashwin also mentioned. Become a teacher, guru yourself. And Mercury is also, going to be joining here. So this is good for teaching, education, writing, astrology, consulting, legal documentation, travel planning, spiritual learning also. And Venus and Jupiter will also be conjunct in your 10th house, which is again a very positive. The dispositor Lord is well positioned in the Kendra with Jupiter. So this is a Dharma Karma connection also. So if you're looking for a new job assignment, it will open and pave doors for you. Okay. And this is a good time for, because Saturn from the 7th house is aspecting, good for partnerships, good for client dealings, and good for a very beautiful relationship which blossoms and quits your karma also. Help that karmic equation is going to get activated now. Your professional and spiritual growth may depend on partnership maturity with Saturn's aspect here. Okay. And on the full moon date, when there is, it's not a positive place, but when moon transits right opposite on the 30th and the 31st, it is causing a Viprit Veda. That is cancellation of the obstruction. So that those 2 days are very good for courage, writing, siblings, or communication. These can help resolve your matters related to guru, dharma, father-like figure. If you're having frictions, if your father is suffering with health issues, that will be definitely very positive for you guys also. Okay. And take care of your hip region, thigh region, digestion, liver, father's health. It can give you some kind of stress also. So take care of all of that. But it is good for your teaching, consulting, publishing, public dealing, and also the relationship wise, listen carefully what the partner is saying. Okay. So pray to the guru, begin higher studies on the new moon day, and communication and courage will be at its peak when it is full moon energy. So offer seva, bhakti, or your servitude attitude towards the elders, towards your father, your guru. Donate books, educational material to the needy. Okay. So this is what is the key theme, and you are good to go. Okay. Coming to the next one, that is Libra.
Libra. So, for Libra, 11th ruler, obstructor or Badaka in the 8th house. So in a way, there is a little bit of a positivity where the obstructor is going and kind of hiding in the 8th house and losing power to kind of actually obstruct. But still, it kind of stirs out some challenges within the domain of the 8th house. And that is where we kind of need to dive deep and understand the less visible parts of what the 8th house has to offer. So it's not a very outwardly expressive or a flamboyant transit like it is for Leo rising natives or something like that. But for for Libra rising natives with Sun in the 8th house of Taurus, it kind of throws light into some of the deeper emotional questions or psychological aspects of our life that we have been dealing with for a very, very, very long time, and how we need to process all those things. So we need to be introspective and deeply reflective. Like, think about your past and understand your emotions, how it has kind of evolved over a period of time. So be observant of your own emotions and your own ways of dealing with situations, and be psychologically aware of what is happening every day around you and how it kind of affects you at an internal level. So, and 8th house is also money or other people's money, long-term savings or investment. Stars naturally indicates these long-term savings or investments. And Sun in the 8th house is going to show us where the problem is. Obstructor's role is to kind of obstruct, and its obstruction is going to show us the problem, and from that problem we are going to find a solution. So which might feel emotionally overwhelming at the beginning because of the challenges that we face, because 8th house is not just about money, but it is also about the other problems or burdens that we are carrying. And when we are dealing with finance, it might actually become a little bit overwhelming and burdensome. But give it some time. You don't need to kind of deal with everything in one day. You have 1 month to kind of solve all those issues, be it inheritances, be it finances, be it shared finances within the family, tax, debts, loans, etc. and etc. Insurance. So if you have not taken insurance, now is the good time to kind of think about it. Health insurance or life insurance or term insurance. Think about it. Or think about reformulating. If you have put it in something and it's not looking good, just take the money and move it somewhere else. So and Libra itself is naturally kind of harmony uh, emanating sign naturally. So it's important to kind of understand the emotional undercurrents of what you're going through, and also what other people might be going through. So there will be delays in how things are progressing. There will be obstructions in terms of how we are moving on. Emotional inconsistency is going to be there inside us. We won't be able to deal with all the situations with same amount of care and attention. There will be a little bit of inconsistency over there. Embrace that inconsistency and do not be judgmental about it. Embrace relationships, embrace the supports that you have, and do not try to kind of manipulate any situation or change any situation, because with planets transiting the 8th house, it is all about kind of being receptive and just be accepting of what comes your way. And being less tolerant is going to only increase the irritability and irritations. So try to be a little more tolerant and understand that this is just a transit and it will pass. So you don't need to bring in too much of worry. Enjoy Rahu's 5th house transit and understand the creative potential that you have. And Sun in the 8th house brings in this hidden ways of uncovering the hidden potentials and experiences that we can have. So try to enjoy all those things and try to kind of look beneath the surface. Always be aware of new things that can be aware of, that you can be aware of yourself. We think that we know everything about us, what we need and who we are, but sometimes Sun's transit in the 8th house, especially squared with the nodes, is very, very potent, where we can actually uncover new things or new details about ourselves. It could be strength, it could be weakness, and it could be vulnerabilities, and it could be opportunities. Whatever it is, just be open to whatever you have as anything that I mentioned, and try to kind of deal with this period with a little bit of a slowness. Do not rush. This is not a period of quick decisions or quick movement. It's a period to kind of embrace this tamasic energy, embrace inertia, and stay at one place and focus on your inner self. Channelize energy towards your inner self, and the external self will naturally kind of feel the benefits, and you will know it once Sun moves into the 9th house. For now, have fun.
Ashwin, please shed some light on the job front for job openings for Libra.
Yeah, again, for Libra, it's the 11th ruler in the 8th house. So currently there is no activation in the 10th house, and it depends on the moon. So we need to look at the moon. But Jupiter is transiting into the 10th house, which is something very, very interesting that is happening. And from the 10th house, Sun is placed in the 11th house. So this is a period where we can expect something that could potentially change or shift in terms of career manifestation. And Venus is also in the 8th house for a little while. So we can expect some gainful situations at career, but I would not go as far as to say that there is a real new job that is waiting for Libra rising natives. We need to be careful of what we expect. This is still a transitionary, transformative period rather than kind of outward growth. So I would say wait until you actually form some kind of an expectation for Libra rising natives. There are hidden challenges within the work area because of Suns in the 8th house still. But again, I don't think it is going to kind of harm the Libra natives in any way, because Sun loses its complete potential to obstruct anything that it has, because it is in the 8th house, and it is actually turning into an opportunity to deal with you know, the deep hidden aspects of whatever 8th house has to offer.
And Ashwin, how can people reach you?
ashwinsubramanian.com.
That's it. Yeah. So you can just mention in the chat also, the live chat also. Okay. So for Libra natives, 8th house transit, of course, as Ashwin rightly mentioned, that it is the Badhaka, which is going to be aspected by Shani also. So it is a minus, minus, plus kind of a situation. So it is definitely very positive for the ones who are waiting for some legal, decisions or anything to do with health issues. Some sudden events or hidden matters may come into the limelight. And also inheritance, joint finances, these are going to be playing out in your favor. Spouses, money, health, vulnerability, if you have been going through that. So this is definitely going to be giving you some kind of positive energy there. Also documentation. So if you have already applied for some things like, some visa, etc., so you now will be getting through with that step further on. And also it is good for anything to do with calculations, job applications. Now see, when sun is in the 8th house, this is the time to work behind the scenes or just prepare yourself. It's a very positive time. If you have to apply for a job, apply now. Maybe in the 9th or the 10th house, when sun reaches, it will activate that also. And meanwhile, even Jupiter will be there. Okay, so that is also going to, increase the possibilities of the job. And if you are looking for anything to do with occult sciences, learning mantra, research, healing, inheritance, etc., so this is a very powerful window that you're entering, with Saturn also looking here. So it will help you fight the disease, debt, enemies, and also, it shows pressure from work, health routines, and litigation also. But it is also going to be giving you some kind of it is going to be giving you some kind of relief also. There is no Veda, so nothing which is going to be impacting you. So just take care of your reproductive organs, chronic issues, anxiety, hidden inflammation, or anything to do with urinary or hormonal issues. Manage your taxes and insurance well, inheritance, joint finances carefully. Good for research, good for occult, as I said. And also some kind of emotional wealth and ancestral cleansing is also good on the new moon, especially on the 16th May. On the 31st May, we have full moon Purnima. So you can also work on your family and money matters. Amavasya Tarpan, Mahamrityunjay month, donate sesame seeds, etc., or food items is a good idea. Okay. Coming to the next one, that is
Scorpio.
Scorpio.
So I think one of those interesting points that you mentioned is the 8th house activation with occult sciences and astrology. So it's a very good window. Just wanted to kind of mention.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, for Scorpio, for Scorpio, Sun is the Lord of the 10th house, powerful benefic, not the Yoga Karga, but still powerful benefic, because it is the 10th Lord, rules the higher angle, and Sun is placed in the 7th house. So throwing light on relationships. And Sun in the 10th house is also sometimes about, ego in relationships, or challenges as a result of ego in relationships, emotional dynamics between the couple, or in any form of relationship where we interact with people on a day-to-day basis has light. But there is also a little bit of ego. There is also a little bit of power struggle or dynamic that is going on. So it is important for us to kind of think that everyone is people, and it is impossible to ignore the human quotient. So the expectations, behavior, moods, demands, and the support system that we expect from the 7th house matters, whatever is related to the relational aspects of our life, we need to kind of be very careful and kind of consciously occupy the aspects of the 7th house matters in our mind. So with 7th house, it's also possible for us to kind of meet some very important figure who could potentially kind of be a collaborator. 10th ruler in the 7th house. If people are kind of, I mean, this is a very interesting thing, right? So 10th ruler in the 7th house, if you're young and if you're looking for a life partner within career, it might be a good opportunity to kind of expand and extend something. Just as a tip. So I mean, things will work out in ways that we don't expect at all. So but anyway, this is a very emotionally intense period as well. But the thing is that with Sun in the 7th house, there is always this ego that's not going to help us to be expressive. And Scorpio natives are naturally very, very deep, intense, and open to transformative experiences. But they don't always show it outside. They're very rigidly inside. The water kind of stays very deep inside and it is stirred under the ocean. And Sun in the 7th house, in this kind of opposite spectrum of Earth, where we see Taurus, suddenly there is fixity. There is no kind of movement as what we expect in water. There is no dispersion. It's fixed, and that itself is a little bit of an unsettling energy. And we don't feel very comfortable to kind of open up and emotionally kind of opening up to the partner or whatever it is. The mental state that we carry will not be known to the other person. And if they say something or if they engage in something, it is not to kind of poke us or it is not to kind of influence us or something. It is just that they don't understand what we are up to or what we are thinking. So this is applicable to life partner or any form of partners, close friends, clients, collaborators, any form of relational members that you're dealing with in your life. So the quality of relationships will increase, and there is scope for quality of relationships, both public and personal, to increase at this point. And make sure that you kind of remain open to those opportunities and do not kind of fall into this emotionally exhaustive situations. So trying to be open and being aware of relational matters and trying to be a little bit compromising with the other person is also going to go a very, very long way. And Scorpio natives naturally prefer depth. They naturally prefer loyalty. They naturally prefer seriousness and sincerity. And Taurus, as much as it is the same, there is a little bit of playfulness that kind of comes in with Taurus. Uh, and that is why it kind of matches very well the 7th house energy. There is this naturally attracting energy that is building. So the tendency to kind of hold on should continue, and it should not drop off because of the ego related matters that Sun could potentially present. So anyway, there is not going to be any dissatisfaction. This is a good period to kind of qualitatively improve the relationship matters and trying to bring in some kind of practicality, because again, do not forget, Saturn is aspecting Sun in the 7th house. 5th house Saturn, realistic love related matters, and Sun in the 7th house, focus only on realistic long term relationships is the key here. So if, I mean, inconsistencies do not work, emotional signals is not going to work, analyzing too much again is not going to work. But stay on top of each and every situation by being observant and don't consume the emotional drama. And anyway, with Sun in the 10th house as 7th house as the 10th ruler, you're not going to kind of tolerate any BS in any way. So small everyday behaviors and how we conduct ourselves in relational matters is very, very, very important. It is not just about how the other person is dealing with you, but it is about how you are dealing with other people. And make sure that you feel that other person is listened to. Do not be kind of over dominant, and don't make that it is one-sided for the other person. It has to be give and take, and that is what you need to embrace. And anyway, career, uh, 10th from the 10th, 7th house, it's always decent. It is good to kind of expect some kind of relationships, good collaborations and connections to form in relation in career at workplace. Connecting with bosses, conducting meetings with superiors, or having this one-to-one sessions with your superior or manager, and trying to kind of have a roadmap. If you're in a corporate, this is a very good period for Scorpio rising natives. Use this 1 month to increase your corporate or workplace visibility, so to speak. But overall, it is all about relationships, how we relate to ourselves, one, because Sun is aspecting the first house, and how we conduct ourselves with others and how we work with others by giving due importance to the person who is actually a fellow human. Remember this, and this period is going to be really good because Mars is also entering the 6th house, and Mars is very strong in Aries. It's in Mula Trikona. So as much as there are 6th house challenges that will present, but Mars also in the 6th house is very strong. Mars, natural malefic, in dignity, in Upachaya, is going to contribute to the growth that Sun is already kind of explaining from the 7th house. So this is a reasonably good period, especially given the fact that Jupiter is getting ready to move into the 9th house of its exaltation. Exciting periods for Scorpio natives, and this is just the beginning of that excitement.
Wonderful. So yes, this is Scorpio, which is getting active in and the Sun in the Taurus sign, right opposite your sign. So it's the 7th house. Okay. So when Sun is in the 7th house, now it is the evening time actually. When Sun, it's evening and Sun is setting here. Okay, and it's like if you give up your ego. Okay, this is a time when you have to, excuse me, you have to give up your ego if you really want to save your relationship, not just with your partner, spousal, or any business partner or something. It is overall relationship. When sun sets, see, you must understand, moon loses his sheen and sun also sets. After the sunrise comes the sunset also in the evening, which is a very beautiful example for each and every one of us, that the luminaries who are so bright also lose their sheen or also have to go down. Okay. I know now you will say sun never sets because in the other part of the world, sun is rising. Yes, I know sun is rising over there. But at the same time, why we didn't have sun for 24 hours then? Okay. Why is it so? Of course, that is a scientific thing. But still, it's a lesson for all of us that we do it, because this is an intense placement for sun, by the way. So if we work on our ego, we either just be a little more compassionate, like a king, think about the other people also first, so you are definitely good to go. It's a very good time for business discussions, contracts, counseling, negotiations, client communication. And also, Venus in the Gemini sign is the ruler of Taurus sign, okay, which is also going to be conjunct Jupiter. So this is intense for marriage, intimacy, spouses, finance, inheritance, joint assets, and hidden relationship themes will play out. Saturn is aspecting this sun from the 5th house. Okay. So this means that it will bring children, education, mantra, romance, and investments into the karmic frame. You will have to go through this grind, or I can say you have to experience the good results of these fruits that you will, what the plants or the seeds that you had sown. Now it's the time to reap the results. Okay, there is no Vedha for this sun in the 7th house, so handle partnership carefully though, and take care of your reproductive and lower abdominal health and kidneys and BP stress also during this time. And wealth wise, it is good for the joint finances, spouses income, client income is highlighted. And also it will improve your public dealing also, but ego must be reduced if you want your career graph to go up this month. Okay, because it is going to be in Kritika, then it is going to be in Rohini, and then lastly in Mars's nakshatra. So you can be a little more on the mellowing side. And then there is a new moon in the 7th house also, so reset marital agreements now, avoid harsh confrontation. And full moon is in the 1st house, so your emotions and body become exposed. Offer water to sun for relationship humility with others, and pray to Shiv and Parvati for marriage balance, because 7th house Surya can be only tamed by Lord Shiv. Okay, coming to the next one, that is Sagittarius.
Sagittarius, For Sagittarius, this is the sixth house transit, right? So, and Yoga Karaka entering the sixth house, which is a little bit of a, I won't say it's extremely bad, but there is a challenging element to it because sixth house is the house of diseases. Sixth house is the house of illness, loans, debts, enemies, or hidden challenges that we have to go through on a daily basis. Because sixth house is also daily routine, and Sun in the sixth house is going to primarily just throw light on areas where we need to kind of course correct and think about how we are living our daily life. Think about our sleep patterns. Are we kind of spending too much time at night and not waking up during the day at the right time? Is it affecting our health? And sixth house is also about wear and tear. Are we kind of leaving to wear and tear? Think about your eyes. Sixth house, Uttara Kalamrita says that sixth house is also eye related challenges. Sixth, and the clue that we can take from here is that sixth house is dealing with wear and tear, what we use on a daily basis, what we use every minute, every day, and how much care we are giving to that particular part of the body is really important. And don't take into don't take anything for granted when it comes to health. Have some health checkups done. Think about the basic master health checkup or whatever it is. If you're 40 plus or something, it is good to kind of have a master checkup done. Diabetes or whatever it is, blood pressure, you need to be very, very careful, especially with Sun in the sixth house. Natural rise in blood pressure is possible. So be mindful of your health during this period. Physical well-being is very, very important, but at the same time, mental well-being is also very, very important. Think about your ordinary routines, work schedules, health, sleep, food, workload, sixth house. It's Artha. What we are doing on a daily basis is really important. Time management and handling the daily responsibilities that become more demanding and trying to cut off to ensure that we are kind of giving more realistic attention to ourselves, and try to kind of fragment and compartmentalize different areas of life. Working with calendar is what I would suggest for everyone who is going through a sixth house transit. Sometimes to-do list is really important. Having a to-do list and cutting off each and every item that is completed, checking off those items from the to-do list is really a good small psychological win, which will help us keep motivated through the day. Small aspects like this is really important. So start working with the calendar. If Sagittarius naturally scattered, but in a good way, but we are always kind of dealing with back and forth things, mutable sense. So Sun's entry, ninth ruler, direction, life path. So calendar is a very good routine. And at the same time, ninth ruler in the sixth house is a little bit of a challenge for father. So father's health needs attention. Father needs to be taken care. Paternal litigation related matters will come to forefront, and those matters will kind of require your attention. So overall, it is a little bit of a demanding transit, both psychologically in terms of how we create awareness and how we deal with the imbalances around us, especially with the nodes in the third house and the ninth house, constantly kind of angling the sixth house, especially with the Sun. There is this potential to change the course of how we are progressing in our life, and whatever we have been neglecting is going to come in forefront. And as the sixth house is active again, health really needs concern, and how the daily activity that we do is attacking our health or something like that. Think about connecting the dots, like how daily habits is causing challenges, and remove all those daily habits. So Sun is going to throw light on all those things. Focus on your productivity, but also a relationship with your productivity is really important. Make sure that you are realistically productive. Do not put or dump yourself with goals. With sixth house transit, there is a natural tendency to overwork, and that is not necessary. But again, ninth ruler in the sixth house, focusing on spiritual matters and engaging spirituality in our daily life is really important. There needs to be some kind of a discipline in terms of how we move along with your life. Like trying to be quiet for 5 to 10 minutes in a day and focusing on ourselves and focusing on our psychological self and having this inner alignment of mind, body, and spirit is really important for Sagittarius natives. So, third house, Rahu, overstimulation of social media has been there. It is probably affecting health as well, but it is a good time to kind of really honestly accept whatever mistakes that you have been making on a daily basis and correct it. And Sun's transit is an actual opportunity.
Great, great, great. So yeah, it's as you rightly mentioned, it is about routines, right? So in the classic text, it's mentioned that it is going to bring victory over enemies, improvement of financial status, bank account, recovery, rise in the bank account, like financial status, because it is in the Taurus sign. And also any kind of long-standing illness will be cured. And this brings in comforts, foods, luxuries, worries and difficulties will disappear, and your endeavors left half and considered impossible will be achieved and completed. There will be mental peace and confidence also. Fame and respect will increase. That's what in the classic text Sun in the sixth house says. See, this is definitely going to be because Sun is Dhanvantari also. That is why Sun in the sixth house gives you victory over your health, your disease, and also anything to do with debt, competition, litigation, job pressure, service matters, daily routine. So this is definitely going to be one of the best positions. So it will give you good in these areas. Okay, they will be definitely in the positive direction. Work efficiency will also increase. Anything to do with health analysis, if you have been going through anything, so this will improve. Anything to do with professional contracts, it is good. It can bring disputes in the marriage if health, debt, or work pressure spills into relationship. That you have to take care of. Because Saturn is in your fourth house, aspecting this in the sixth house, so it puts responsibility on home, mother, property, and emotional peace also. Now, there is a Veda angle here because sixth house is a good transit of Sun. So, some planet right opposite has to be there in the 12th house. So, in the 12th house means there has to be a planet in the Scorpio sign if we talk about this Sun in the sixth. So, when Moon transits on the 30th and the 31st, it is going to be causing Vedha. It is going to be causing obstruction to this Sun. And this obstruction is going to be giving you some sleep anxiety disorder, or expenses, or foreign matters, or hidden fears. This may obstruct your house of victory in a way. So 2 days you have to be really cautioned, and you have to be really cautious about your health, about your money matters, legal matters, etc. also. But it is definitely a very positive. The whole transit, I would say, definitely can't be the same. So in between, you will, most of the time, you will feel very good at the place of work. Legal battles will be won. Problems will be solved. Relationship wise, avoid making marriage into a battlefield because it is in the 12 places away from the 7th house. Okay. And as it is, Ketu is also in your 9th house. Okay. So you need to take care of your relationships and also start a fitness routine, during this 6th house Sun, and rest, sleep, meditation, release on the full moon and new moon time, 6th house. So this is a good time for reconciliation or overcoming your issues that you are facing. Also, this is good for charity. Maybe you can do some donation of medicines because it's the 6th house energy, or you can give some kind of financial help to somebody. Okay, serve the workers and chant Aditya Hridaya Stotram for all sorts of success or victory over the evil. Okay, coming to the next one, that is Capricorn.
Cappy.
Yeah.
Capricorn, eighth lord in the fifth house. So fifth house, sun throwing light on children, creative self-expression, and reserves and surplus and credits anyway, which is Purva Punya. But the eighth lord in the fifth house is kind of an affliction to all these things, isn't it? Like having all these good things in the fifth house, and what good does it do with affliction? But that's not the angle we need to look at, because attention towards these areas is really important, and sun naturally throws lights there. So fifth house, be it emotional connection, creativity, personal expression, all these will kind of come back. So sun is an ignition of the fifth house matters here. We may kind of not be spending time with children. If you're already a parent, you might kind of go into a guilt trip where you're not spending time with your children, and this is the time to kind of get all those course corrected. There will be a little bit of a guilt feeling where you are feeling that you are not spending enough time with children, and you can kind of try and correct this during this period where responsibilities towards children will naturally increase. And summer in India, it's always a good time to kind of spend quality time with children and listen to them and sit down with them and have some real uplifting moments with your children, which is good for you, but it is more importantly good for them. So, but anyway, I know for Capricorn rising natives, Sun in the second house conjunction with Rahu, challenging. Third house, Saturn and Sun challenging, constant roadblocks. Fourth house, Saturn seem to be a little better, but still emotionally exhausting. Now fifth house. Eighth lord in the fifth house. So there are some discomforts. The Purva Punya is getting a little afflicted because of Sun's eighth rulership. Functionally, Sun is not going to help, but there is also kind of the reignition of moments of pleasure, beauty, emotional ease through the family related situations, and also genuinely kind of accepting this human connection in a world where we are dealing with AI. And you go to any website, you go to any platform, the first face that you are always seeing is a chatbot that is chatting with you. There is very, very less human. So with fifth house, you will start appreciating the real human connections, especially with the sun in the fifth house, where it actually tends to kind of soften our inner self, but it doesn't appear like that externally. So we would be kind of wanting these conversations with other people and having to kind of connect with people in a very, not at a very social level, but at a very personal level, having conversations and building this meaningful companionship with relationships, because fifth is also the 11th from the 7th. So companion is really good. Enjoying music, movies, films, hobbies, books, creativity, etc. and etc. All the good things of the fifth house, sun is going to throw light, but everything is going to come with a little bit of a burden. There is always something subconsciously working in our mind. Okay, I have this work to do. Okay, my boss is going to call me. That is going to remain, but it is more of a psychological thing, and you can actually neglect that and try to work with that in a very, very positive way. So anyway, with sun in the fifth house as the 11th from the 7th, existing relationships, whatever it is, there will be some importance and prominence in those relationships, and we need to reanalyze and think about which relationship is good for us and which relationship is not necessarily good for us. Because sun is the eighth lord placed in the fifth house, it is actually good to kind of move away from certain relationships and think about what is really good for us and what is really good for them. If the relationship is not mutually respectful and mutually kind of giving, that is the relationship that you need to put an end to at this particular point of time, because the sun is also the eighth ruler. And Capricorn natives, very, very gritty, determined people. Saturn ruled, Saturn is placed in the third house at this point, and you don't express things. You kind of keep things inside yourself. You don't share your problems, you don't share your happiness. But now is the time to kind of open up and have faith in people, and there is no need of emotional withdrawal. Just try to kind of be emotionally present at all the times. You don't need to be emotionally overreactive or over expressing yourself. You just need to be a human, which is very difficult for people who have strong Capricorn. They're always about work, hard work, attention to detail, etc. and etc. It is time to kind of keep all those things a little away and enjoy this fifth house transit by balancing the burden as well, because it is the eighth ruler in the fifth house.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Ask me. I'm always into work, 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 because I'm not Capricorn, but yes, I have an exalted Mars. So it does that to me.
That's
Yes, it
even more
is.
important. Like having a
Yeah,
prominent planet in
yeah.
Capricorn with exalted Mars is a recipe for hard work and determination. And Mars is this unending energy. I don't know how you do 3-hour live videos.
Yes, it is because of that only I'm saying I must have maybe, done something in the past life that I got this Mars in
Yeah,
Ucha position.
good.
Yeah. So, yes, God bless us all, though. I wish I can do this till the last breath of my life. Yes, so Capricorn, this is the fifth house, which is the eighth from the 10th, where Sun is going to be transiting. So it is definitely, as Ashwin has elaborately explained, I'm not going there much, but yes, it is good for education. It is good for creativity. It is good for mantra siddhi. It is good for romance, speculation, intelligence, past life, purva punyas. But it makes you very impatient also. Sun here makes you very impatient with children, especially, or about children, or worried about children, or about your romance, something that keeps bothering you. Okay. So you need to be more careful about your mindset, what you really want. And also, because the dispositor Lord Venus is also going to be forming a connection with Jupiter. So it is very good for competitive exams, very good for service through creativity, healing education. And also, it is good for problem solving, but not good for reckless speculation. Okay. And it is good for the ones who are into content creation, learning, trading analysis, and creative intelligence and all that. It's very good. And Saturn is also from the third house looking here. So it will give you disciplined communication, writing, effort. So it is definitely balancing so many things. So in the fifth house, it is we don't have in the fifth house, the fifth house is considered to be not a very positive placement for Sun, as you know. So what happens, there is a Viprit Vedha because of moon right opposite in the 11th house on the 30th and the 31st. Okay, so there is a Viprit Veda, means cancellation of the negatives of this Sun. It reduces the difficult part. So when there is a full moon energy, it will temporarily open gains, networks, and fulfillment. So the second half of the month can bring much better clarity about your finances, about your relationships, about your maybe any kind of plans about your career also. Okay, so it is definitely going to open way to your mindset. Okay, I need to do this, that clarity that you're looking for. Avoid risky speculation, but it is good for analytical investment review also. Take care of your stomach, heartburn, because it's the fifth house. So BP issues can be there, children's health. There can be unnecessary mental stress. There is nothing, but yet there is something which is bothering you again and again. So that is something. On the full moon day, that is on the 30th and the 31st, when there is moon right opposite the sun. Full moon is on the 31st though. So gains, friends, audience, and networks, these will activate. So connect with people, do something about this energy, and henceforth it's getting better only. So donate to children some stationery items, students, schools, anywhere, you can, or offer water to the sun, and offer water to the, because it is the Agni Nakshatram which is getting activated since 4th of May till the 28th of May. So please offer water to anybody who comes at your doorstep. It is very hot. So just don't deny water during this sun, especially if you have sun in Kritika, sun in Rohini, sun in, especially, Kritika and Rohini only. For the Agni Nakshatram. Then, of course, it is going to be in Mars Nakshatra. So you have to give your ego mellowing impact of your ego also. Okay, and it is good for property related documents in case you have to sign anything, or anything to do with, you have to just see that what gives you that satisfaction, but you have to have that analytical view about every aspect during this transit. All right. It's definitely positive, I would say. Coming to the next one, that is Aquarius.
Aquarius. So, Sun in the fourth house, seventh ruler in the fourth house, straight away, mother, uh, domestic environment. Focusing on domestic environment, I like the fourth house transit of the sun, because whenever sun transits the fourth house, I always find myself reorganizing my workplace or my domestic environment, and it kind of gives a little bit of a fresh rejuvenation of the entire environment. So suddenly it feels like things have changed and there is a fresh perspective that is kind of taking birth or something like that. So it's always good to kind of work with this external physical environment to support the emotional grounding and the mental space that we are living in. Overall, I think it's a seventh ruler in the fourth house, meaning action in relationships. So there is a lot of uh, scope and possibilities to kind of willfully, purposefully, and intentionally work through the relationships. Any challenges in the relationship in the past, this is the opportunity for you to kind of start acting towards that and really kind of solve those relationship issues if you have any. And thinking about communication in relationships, and making future plans within a relationship, and trying to kind of take things to completion or fruition, this is a very good time. So overall, I think this is a good period to kind of feel emotionally settled in many ways. There will be practical domestic concerns, and that is what Taurus sun does, and it is something that we need to kind of handle, and we need to changes in living arrangements, that, as I said, family responsibilities, property related matters, and organizing our personal environment, and spending more time with parents or relatives. All these things will matter now. And sometimes it is just good to kind of stay home. If you've been traveling too much, or if you've just been constantly moving around, it is good to kind of stay at home, and which is going to potentially help our emotional psyche to be in a better place, and help us have this grounded life for at least 1 month that could possibly kind of take us through the rest of the year. So don't underestimate sun's transit in the fourth house. There is a possibility of emotional withdrawal, or there is a possibility of over attachment to the self. I think those are some of those risks or challenges that we could potentially face. It is also a kind of a reasonably nostalgic transit, because fourth house is containment, fourth house is memory, fourth house is emotional memory. So when sun is placed in the fourth house, sometimes we are too much focusing on ourselves and forgetting about the other things. And there is this little bit of emotional withdrawal that could potentially place ourselves. But there is also this old memory, older patterns of habits, relationships, etc., within the family setup, and unresolved emotional experiences, if any, because fourth house is the deep dwelling place. Sun is at the fourth house during the midnight. So fourth house is the deep dwelling place where we deal with deeper areas of our life and work with those areas of our life that is not visible to others. So emotional honesty and trying to be self-reflective of our own life and our own relationship with the domestic environment, family, and family members is really important. So the overall mental state will seemingly appear strong, although Rahu will kind of potentially make it sound like it is true stronger than it is. But always have this sense of skepticism, as long as Rahu is placed in the first house, and understand that emotional boundaries need to be strong, but it does not need to be too harsh. And do not shut the door away from people with fourth house sun. Mingling becomes good, but at the same time, we also tend to shut the door on some people, and we don't even realize that. So be very careful about the boundaries, and it's good to kind of spend time with yourself, but do not overdo that, and try to kind of consciously balance the withdrawal and boundaries as much as possible. But I think overall, sun in the fourth house is kind of a welcome transit, where you need to kind of dive deep and deal with your emotional foundations and come up with memories that could shape your future not too long, but at least for the next 2 or 3 months.
That's great. Okay. So yeah, fourth house is about documents, home, planning, education from home, also vehicle related. So Aquarius, this is your fourth house themes which are going to be playing out, and it actually impacts your emotional peace also, because fourth house energy is about your inner peace, your mother. That is why it's your mother's lap. It's called the mother's lap. And ego does not work here, okay? Because when you are with your family, with your own core self, so you have to give up your ego. So when you are entering, it's like, fourth sun in the fourth house can disturb peace if ego enters domestic life. So there's no place for ego in the domestic life, isn't it? So if you are having anything to do with your issues that you're dealing with your family members, with ego, I think just cut that out, okay? And things are definitely going to fall in place. If you're unable to convey to your mother something that is not right, or something which you want to convey, or you want to talk to her about something, so this is a very positive time period to communicate it to her, or take her help. Okay, I need to know certain things, I need that guidance. She's always the guiding light. Most of the cases, what I have experienced, they are all very good mothers, and they're very, they are by their children, their side. Yes, there are a few cases where mother has been really, a negative influence in the children's life also. I have seen those cases as well. But there is a lot of affliction because maybe because of Saturn there, because of Ketu, not Ketu, but Rahu. Anyhow, that's a separate chapter altogether. So now what is happening, it is good for education, for children, for creative work, because Venus is also forming a connection. Venus is going to be transiting your fifth house. So teaching, design, astrology, emotional intelligence, creative work from home, these will definitely be playing out. Saturn is aspecting from the second house. So there will be pressure on family, speech, savings, and food habits. And Saturn is your Lagna Lord also. So there is some serious self-correction which is required now. Okay. Now, in the fourth house, there is a Viparit Vedha also, which is forming because of moons transiting on the 30th and the 31st, because fourth house is not considered to be that great. As 10th house is a good place, fourth house is not, because it is the midnight time. It's a nadir. So when we talk about moon transits the 10th house on the full moon, your career visibility may help balance your home pressure. So maybe there's some good news that you bring home and you're throwing a party. There is a good news, so you're enjoying. So that way, it is like a opening of your career visibility. It is going to pave way to your success also. Take care of your chest, heart, BP, emotional stress, mother's health. Also, there can be some property related expenditures or home related purchases that you can make during this time. Work from home, career wise, property, education, consulting, these roles are supported. Okay. And family ego must be controlled, as I said, on the new moon, that is on the 16th in your fourth house. Cleanse home energy, declutter your environment, pray for mother. And also on the 10th house, you have the full moon on the 31st. So career exposure and public recognition is quite likely. Light a ghee lamp in the evening, in the east direction to activate this. Donate food articles in the name of mother or ancestors. And this will definitely clear any kind of blockages that you have in your life. Okay. And take the blessings of your father and mother both. Coming to the next one, which is the last sign, which is Pisces.
Pisces. With Pisces, I always kind of enjoyed third house transit with Sun in the third house of Pisces, but Sun is also the sixth ruler in the third house. So one Upajaya falling in another Upajaya is is a very, very interesting transit. Third house is energy, third house is effort, third house is courage, third house is valor, and sun placed in the third house is going to kind of throw light and propagate and kind of bring all these things into prominence. What we are doing on a daily basis comes into forefront, and sun is very good in terms of showering knowledge. This is where we actually connect with knowledge. Sun in the third house, connecting with knowledge or awareness, and awareness turning into thought, thought turning into action, and action turning into transmission. This is a very meaningful period for Pisces rising natives, naturally very emotional and helpful for others, and always looking forward to share. This is a very good phase. Siblings play a major role when we are looking at the third house transit, and sixth house ruler in the third house can potentially indicate that there is a little bit of a friction or a challenge in the relationship with the siblings. So make sure that you are kind of aligned with the expectations of your own relationship with your siblings, and also their own relationship to you in terms of how both are aligned. Don't have any expectations with the siblings or from the siblings, and it is going to lead to some form of disappointment. So emotional heaviness is going to be there because of the sixth ruler. We feel fatigued. There needs to be some kind of uh, conscious way to kind of have this restlessness defeated from our daily life. Again, sixth daily, Saturn in the first house for a very long time now, getting ready to leave, but not anytime soon. At least as per Lahiri and Amsha, is going to aspect Sun in the third house. So it's going to kind of slightly pull back in terms of the efforts that we are going to take, because third house is effort and Sun is kind of throwing this vitality into how we are putting in effort in what we need to do. But Saturn is going to, okay, wait, think before you do. So psychologically, there is a lot of self observation because of Saturn's aspect. And there is also this self observation is because Saturn is aspecting from the first house. Third house is also communication, how we are communicating, kind of observing and trying to make judgments about our own self. And we will find explaining about ourselves because as a result of our fatigue or whatever it is, because communication, third house, sixth ruler, there is a chance for rambling. And we have to, I mean, we almost feel like we need to satisfy people's expectations at all the times and for everyone. And Pisces rising natives, this is almost natural. So try to understand that it is not always possible for you to kind of satisfy everyone. So meaningfully engaging with people is more important. Third house, engagement. Think of third house. First house is you, third house is whom you can immediately reach. And that is sibling. Third house and 11th house, sextiles from the ascendant. The support system that we can reach as soon as possible. And that is what we need to look at. Quickly solvable things and matters that we can easily connect with. Meaningful communication. Think about writing. Journaling is really important. Third house transit. Think about writing at least 2 or 3 sentences about your day. Think about manifestation. Read or videos, watch videos about manifestations. That is really good. But overall, I think writing your plans through the day, having a to-do list and journaling at least twice or thrice a week is a very, very good practice for the Pisces rising natives at this point because of the third house transit. If you're a teacher, this is a good phase. If you're an astrologer, it is a good place. If you're a counselor, psychologist, psychiatrist, this is a really good place. Content creation, third house, good place. Very, very focused and intentional content creation, third house. Public speaking, this is a good place. You can have opportunities to speak publicly. This is the forum, this is the place for you, this is the period for you to kind of express yourself on social media. But be very mindful and careful of what you do on social media. Do not share your personal life, but you're free to share your opinions in ways that it actually doesn't go and affect other people. So just take care of your nervous system and don't be pulled towards all sides like a true Pisces. Sometimes you need to kind of embrace the slowness in life, and also try to kind of deal with the the present fixity or stability that you're trying to build. You don't need to push everything too far, and don't put everything on your calendar. You cannot do 10 to 15 things on a single day. Because Saturn is placed in the first house, your energy levels are naturally slow. You are not working as quickly or as much as you worked before 2 years. Things have changed, and Sun's entry into Taurus is actually a good way to reorganize your day or revitalize your day by actually giving yourself a little bit of space and detaching yourself from unnecessary conversation. Third house conversation. Don't engage in draining conversations, emotionally demanding conversations. Be selective and do not be prey to overstimulation of emotions from external sources. And with Saturn already in your first house, you have enough challenges to deal with, but use this Sun's transit in ways that it is actually uplifting for you, because third house, after all, is Upajaya, and this is the first opportunity for you to kind of think about growth.
Okay, excellent. Today is Ashwin on the roll, I think. Great going. Yes, so last sign, and you have to understand that Sun does well in the third house, first of all. So be rest assured this transit is in favor of yours. Just be careful on the 30th and the 31st when Moon is right opposite this Sun. So there is a Vedha. That is the obstruction because of that, which I'll be sharing with you also what will happen. But yes, this is going to give you the courage, if there you have been feeling stagnant. So this is definitely a very positive time period for you guys to start something new. Okay. As Ashwin rightly mentioned, this is a very positive time for the ones, the ones who are waiting for anything like, if it's a stagnancy in travels, suppose you have problems with siblings or maybe marketing, social media, initiative, you are not able to take the initiative, third house is the only place which will give you that initiative. If there is a Krura graha there like Sun, Mars, Saturn, they do well there. So this one is definitely good for you guys, for courage, for communication, for writing, media, social outreach, business outreach, good for strengthening your speech or planning. And also, the dispositor lord, that is Venus, Taurus ruler. This is also very good time for working from home, teaching, writing, property communication, because Venus is going to be with Jupiter in your fourth house. So mother related support, education, and counseling and content creation also. Today, the market crash, I had predicted last week about it. Anyhow, Saturn is also aspecting from the first house. Okay, it is aspecting from the first house, making your communication now bold and serious, also disciplined, also because Saturn is also on the 17th entering Revati Nakshatra, which is also about, which is ruled by Mercury. It's like, speak less, but speak with impact, that kind of a transit. Now, Veda, as I said, is going to be cancelling out. This Veda is going to be formed, sorry, not cancelling out, but because of the full moon energy, right opposite. So take care of your father. Guru, higher learning, travel, or belief issues may temporarily obstruct your courage or communication. Maybe you were traveling and father's health suffers and you are not able to travel. So those 2 days, don't plan. 30th and 31st, don't plan also. Okay. So wealth will improve through self-effort. This is the house of self-effort, communication, teaching, marketing. So if you want to upgrade yourself, so that will be only because of this self-effort right now. Okay. Take care of your shoulders, arms, throat, ears, nervous system. They can be fatigued due to Saturn in the Lagna also. So take care. And communicate with maturity in your relationships. Avoid silence becoming distance. Now, new moon is in your third house on the 16th of May. Start writing, start planning, content, mantra, discipline. It is definitely going to be in a favor. Full moon is on the 31st. So guru, father, travel, dharma, these will get activated. Okay. So offer water to sun, donate notebooks, books, and also, you can serve your siblings and neighbors, be friendlier to them. Okay. So this is what is also the key, So I would say it is definitely going to be positive for you guys, because third house is any which way is going to give you very good results. So I think make the best use of this transit, I can say. Okay. So what exactly, I wanted to add here, Ashwin, was that this transit is good for Cancer, Leo, Sagittarius, and Pisces natives, because it's a 3, 6, 10, 11 in reverse. Cancer 11th, Leo 10th, Sagittarius 6th, and Pisces 3rd. So you guys have to take care on the 30th and the 31st only. Okay, because it is going to be giving you some obstruction and hurdles right opposite, because moon will be. So it is sensitive transit for Gemini, because sun is in the 12th house for you. Libra 8th house, Scorpio 7th house, Aquarius 4th house, Capricorn 5th house, Taurus 1st house, health and ego, Aries 2nd house, speech and money discipline, Virgo 9th house, father and guru dharma. So sun in Taurus is not merely a wealth transit. Please understand, this is about your value system also. It is about whether your food is pure, whether your food is for your gut, for your what you're eating, what are you putting in your stomach. This is that kind of a time. Your speech is clean or not, your money is stable or not, your family karma is handled well or not, and your self-worth is not dependent on only possessions. Okay. So this is something everybody should follow. Some hidden emotional and financial truths will be revealed with sun transiting here. So it is definitely going to be a very positive time period. All right. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. A long video. And I'm a little tired now. Take care, everyone. Take care. Thanks, Ashwin, for being here. Thanks so much. And I'll, in the comment section, I'll pin it out, your YouTube channel, your details, if anybody wants to reach out for courses, for your consultations. So please, and Ashwin is really good in teaching. He's written books also. You have no idea whom you are dealing with right now, I'm telling you, because since so many years, he has been writing on Quora, and millions of people, when we didn't have this chat GPT and other, AI tools, he has been writing since then, and he has written books without the help of any of these AI tools. Isn't it, Ashwin? It's big, it's huge.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back to the foundations anyway, but thank you so much for the
No, I appreciate. I know him since last 8 years in this journey of my YouTube. So I know I've yet to see a dedicated and a growing astrologer like him. I have yet to see. It's consistent. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and do connect with Ashwin at the earliest for your consultations.
Take care.
Okay, stay blessed.